Let's see here. Malware bytes scan complete. Yes, and I have to move this little thing. Yes, it's actually recording. Just did an update on the OBS software, so it's okay. I'm just learning something here. Sorry. Okay. Maybe I should have done the update a while ago. That just kind of put the screen. Huh. Interesting. How do I lock that out? No. Okay, we're back on. Sorry, I'm playing with this right now. I just did an update. I'm trying to. There. Maybe. Does it allow me to. How do I make this smaller? There we go. I can be taught. All right. Just wanted to get back to where I could see the video screen. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I was just gonna. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Gwen, my one viewer. Just jumping on. A lot of cool stuff happening. God, I always say that. Anyway, had a good weekend. Random stuff as always. Met. Well, I already knew. So Krista has a good friend, Rachel. Rachel has two sons, Max and Oliver. They're both in their early 20s. And then Rachel also has a daughter, Scarlett, who I think middle school age, 10, 11, 12. But she has Down syndrome. But anyway, we had planned this for like a month. Rachel's sons, Rachel invited us over to her house. And her sons made us dinner. And her one son, Oliver, also plays guitar. And then her other son, Max, is like a really good rock climber. Like, he actually has a hangboard. Anybody that has seen Free Solo, that famous scene at the very end of the movie after Alex completes the free solo of El Capitan, they ask him, "Oh, what do you want to do now?" And he's like, "Oh, I think I'm on a hangboard for a while." So he goes to his Sprinter van where he has a hangboard and just actually wants to work out more. So anyway, super talented climber. He was climbing all over the house inside. It was amazing. Kind of the molding that goes around the doorways and stuff. He could just get his fingertips on the edge of that and then do like flips and climb up to the second floor. But they made us dinner. I brought my guitar, and they randomly had their friend Chris there, who also plays guitar. So there was three of us in the living room. Her son Oliver, his friend Chris, and then me. Three guitars. We start jamming. We're giving each other tips. I'm learning songs they know. They learn stuff I do, or I know. Chris knew a Stain, because I know a couple Stain songs, but he knew one. I'm on the outside. I don't know how to play it, but he knew how to play it. And I pulled up the lyrics and I was singing. And we did the whole song while everybody was just watching us. It was super cool. So yes, and Scarlett is a sweetheart. Have a cute little dog, Chugs, I believe it was called. But that was very cool this weekend. What else? We're ramping up to the holidays with Thanksgiving. I'm going to spend Thanksgiving, the main part of the day. Me and Krista are going to go over to her brother, James, and his wife, Dondi. They live in Portland, so they're hosting small gathering. It'll be me and Krista, their James and Dondi, their son Peyton. Rumors of maybe their daughter Sydney will be there, but then also James and Krista's mother Sandy will be there. So very small gathering. Going to chill out there, and then Kristen and Alex are hosting with their roommate, their friend Nicole, and then Alex's sister Victoria and her better half Maggie. But they're all doing it at Kristen's house. So definitely going to try to stop by there after on the way back, because I don't think we're old now. We're not going to be out late, so we'll stop by there and hang with them for a bit before we call it a night. I only get Thursday off. So yeah, Thursday off. Have to go back to work Friday, and then have the weekend off. So, yeah, this is going to be very cool. I do have a surprise guest. Not a surprise. I have a guest I'm really excited about that has agreed to do the podcast. That should happen in the next week or two. I promise. I know I keep saying this, but I promise. And this is one I've been chasing for a couple of years, and I think it's actually going to happen. And through no fault of the guest own, it's a guy, but through no fault of his own, he has an incredibly busy schedule, also has a family and a lot of stuff going on. So it's taken a while to kind of actually get it scheduled, but I think we actually dialed something in the next week or two. Yeah, but I'm not going to mention who it is. You just have to watch the episode, Gwen. Let's see. What else was I thinking of? Shout out to Peter Attia. Right before I turned this on, I was updating my OBS software. That's the software I use for the podcast. And then I was also just checking on my Zoom subscription to make sure I actually am paying for it. Because the free Zoom, you can get Zoom for free, but it only allows you to have a meeting for 40 minutes. And I've, especially after doing the first one I did way back in the beginning with the author Paul Young was over Zoom. And that was the first time I've ever done a virtual podcast. And then I did one with my friend Tracy, who I know from Get Lit at the Beach. I did one with Stephanie, the retired Portland cop who lives in Idaho now. And I've just realized the possibilities. I mean, all things being equal, I guess I would still prefer to do podcasts in person, but the Zoom thing is so nice because it allows me to reach out to so many other people that I would never consider just because they live so far away. There's no way I can make that happen. But yeah, doing it virtually, and it's a pretty good connection. There's a slight millisecond. You have to be aware of the millisecond delay, so you're not talking over each other. But you get used to it pretty fast. And it kind of just teaches you to be patient and actually slow down and listen to the person you're talking to, which is actually a really good communication skill that more people should use in person. Actually slow down, listen to what the other person is saying, think about it for a moment, a beat, before you respond. Instead of this habit that a lot of people get into, and I'm guilty of it, where you're listening, you're letting the other person talk, and you're just waiting until they're done so you get to say what you want to say. So you're already formulating your response in your mind before they have finished saying what they're going to say. So it's actually, in a way, Zoom could help us be more thoughtful and considerate and present. So yeah, listen to what they're saying, stop, pause, think about it, and then formulate your response. Got him. I'm giving a TED talk here. But anyway, several podcasts that I have been inspired by. One of my favorite is Peter Attia. And he's amazing, but also just the guest he has on a wide range of topics about just basically health, the human condition, how to improve your life in all aspects. It's not just about exercise. It's not just about nutrition. It's about mental and emotional health. He recently put out a book. I forgot the name of it. It might be something like the Centenarian Decathlon. But his whole focus right now is longevity and increasing health span versus lifespan. He was actually just featured, I think, on 60 Minutes a few weeks ago. But God, I've been listening to this guy for like 10 years. Well, maybe 8 years. But yeah, really good stuff. And I love how he applies his knowledge towards, especially as we age, focusing on lifestyle habits, the exercise side of it, the nutrition side of it, that's actually going to help you as you age, as opposed to just, oh, I want a six-pack, or because, when you're in your 20s and 30s, your exercise and nutrition goals are probably going to be different than they are when you're in your 50s, 60s, and 70s. And you should have a different focus on that as you approach 70s and 80s. The importance of grip strength, the importance of leg strength becomes more important, especially like being able to navigate going downhill or downstairs. You have to have the strength to catch yourself, or just if you trip over a crack in the sidewalk, if you don't have the strength to catch yourself with your legs and reach out and grip strength to catch yourself and hold yourself up, that's why old people fall and break their hips, which can then lead to death. So he's more about instead of just trying to achieve a high level in a specific event, athletic event, or I want to have this much muscle, or I want to have a six pack. He's like, what is going to help me not only live as long as I can, but also be a functioning adult, or be functional as long as I can. You know, I want to be able to do all the things. I want to go hike, you know, Mount St. Helens when I'm in my 70s or 80s. I don't want to be 90 but confined to a wheelchair. So anyway, check out his podcast. He also has so many guests on that talk about so many amazing issues. The one with, was it Rachel Rubin? Oh gosh, she talks about women's sexual health. It's a bad term for it, because it's more about, like, especially perimenopause, going into menopause, but kind of how that aspect of women's health has kind of been neglected in our society. So that's a really good one. But yeah, it's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, you know, wherever you catch them. So, what else? I feel like there was a few other things I wanted to rant about here. Oh, I did get another, God, I probably showed this already. I feel like I showed this in the last solo one I did. This one right here, and nobody's going to be able to see it. This sticker right here, though, I'm collecting stickers on my guitar. That is from Three Magnets Brewing in Olympia, Washington. And I stopped there, the 15th. So it was the weekend of the 15th. Me and Krista went up to Bellingham to see her daughter and her boyfriend. And I stopped at that place, that brewery on the way up in Olympia, and met one of the brewers. And yeah, I've talked about this. Anyway, another sticker for my guitar collection. We've got Susto, this band from South Carolina that Kristen's husband Alex grew up with, at least the lead singer. They were awesome. I did see them a couple years ago here when they were at Mississippi Studios. A couple from Backwoods Brewing, this one and this one here, local craft brewery place in Carson, Washington. And then the first sticker I ever put on this guitar, I think I've told. So sorry, that's Backwoods. That's Backwoods. And then Montana Whiskey was a few years ago at one of the Get Lit events. They randomly had sent a local rep to the liquor store in Cannon Beach, Oregon, when I was there that weekend for the authors event. And we just stopped in to grab something, and she was there, and she was very nice and had a great story about the origin of Montana whiskey. And of course I bought a bottle and got a sticker. So that was the first one I put on my guitar. And then I was like, oh, this has to become a thing. I'm going to start collecting stickers for it. And I still have some space. So yes, I will tap out now. God, 13 minutes of a rant. I really need to shut the fuck up. God, I talk too much. Hope everybody has an amazing holiday, and I'm really excited about my next guest, and that will happen in the next week or two. So again, enjoy Thanksgiving, take care of yourselves and each other.